Stay safe. From KCRG TV 9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Hey, good evening and welcome to the midweek edition of First Alert Weather Now, Wednesday evening here for you. I'm meteorologist Thompson.
I'm meteorologist Rickman.
And we had another day of a little bit more fall-like weather after some warm weather to start off the week.
It was kind of a nice change. It felt kind of cool this morning, nice and comfortable this afternoon. We did have that front come through and it was a little windy at times this morning, but that's how it should feel when fall comes and we get those seasons of change and all those air masses kind of sloshing around. A lot can happen, and a lot does happen over the next couple of days, including our next chance of rain. There's a four-letter word I haven't used in a while.
Yeah, it's true. You really haven't had your chance yet since you were off the last couple of days, but we do have that chance coming up fairly soon and some more chances next week too, which we'll dive into in just a little bit.
Absolutely, but first, as we have a look at what you need to know for tonight, we are going to be staying dry through the overnight hours of tonight. It's going to be a little bit of a cool one out there as well. And then we're going to be seeing those temperatures fall overnight tonight into the 30s. It's going to be just a little bit frosty in some areas, and then we'll be seeing those temperatures tomorrow that are going to be climbing pretty nicely into the 70s. So we'll be seeing that through the rest of the weekend as well, where those temperatures are going to be pretty seasonable. Satellite and radar right now does show that it's pretty calm out there. Prairie du Chien, very bright sunset going on right there at 6:31. Temperatures are in the 50s. Winds are out of the northwest, a little lighter than they were earlier this morning. And as we have a look at that evening planner, we're going to see those temperatures fall. Like I mentioned, plenty of clear sky tonight. Will be in the 30s overnight. So if you have any plants that you put back outside to get a little bit of warm and fresh air, you're going to want to bring them in tonight because we will be just a little bit cool. And we'll see those winds calm down overnight. Tomorrow they pick up again, but out of a different direction, out of the southwest. That's going to warm us up a little bit, but not a whole lot. We'll see seasonable temperatures this weekend, and again, that next rain chance.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad over the next day or so, especially since we need the rain. We're happy to see at least that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we will get into that detail again, talking about how much rain we could see in the interim, and likely after that rain moves out, we've got some nice weather coming after that too. So meteorologist Joe Winters has today's forecast for fun over the next several days.
Well, we got to see some fantastic color across eastern Iowa because we certainly have had some good color. Now, though, the Iowa DNR reporting northern Iowa past peak, peaking between Highway 20 and Highway 30 and nearing peak along Interstate 80. Some beautiful leaves still in spots, but a lot of those off the trees in the north. Again, it's that central and south central part of the state that you want to check out for some beautiful fall color. We have some great pictures coming in through UNews on the KCRG TV 9 First Alert Weather app, including this from Clark up at Old Line, just a beautiful picture as the trees are alive with color. Pumpkin patches are, again, still seeing lots of activity. As we move through our Wednesday, it was quiet. Now, though, as we head into Thursday and Friday, we do notice some temperatures staying in the 60s. Late Thursday, so Thursday evening, the possibility that we will see some scattered areas of showers. Overall, the daytime hours, though, for any of your fall activities are looking pretty good. As we glance ahead at the Witch Walk and Sip and Shop, still that chance of a little rain by Thursday, maybe a thunderstorm thrown in as well. That's in Swisher, of course. That runs Thursday evening. The haunted house forecast looking pretty good as well. Thursday evening, the one fly in the ointment. By Saturday, a little cooler with afternoon highs near 62 degrees. Friday night lights still looking good. This will mark 9 weeks in a row of some beautiful weather. 7 o'clock kickoff on KCRG 9.2. Keokuk takes on Mount Vernon. 54 at kickoff, 47 in the fourth quarter. And for the college games on Saturday, it looks good as well. It looks, in fact, fantastic for most of your forecasts for fun.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Thompson.
Now, in the next 24 hours, things will be in pretty good shape. We're not expecting precipitation there. We'll see a little bit of a breeze as we go through the day tomorrow, but for the most part, we're talking quieter conditions overall, which is good news if you have anything planned for your Thursday, especially during the day. Now, a view from our Marion City Cam looking off to the west, you can see a little bit of glow on the horizon from the sunset. Looks really nice out there. Temperatures in the mid-50s with 55 in Marion, 54 in Dubuque. Those winds out of the northwest between about 5 to 10. Now, those have gotten lighter. Area of high pressure will be moving right on top of us during the nighttime hours, giving us those quiet conditions overnight and those lighter winds too. And off to our west, though, there is another storm system that will be headed our way. This will give us that chance for some showers and storms as we look toward the end of tomorrow into the very early portions of tomorrow night. But tonight, your First Alert forecast calls for just those chilly temperatures. 38 degrees in Oskaloosa, 33 in Manchester. So we're talking the potential for some frost out there when you start off your day on Thursday. if you're still trying to keep some of those outdoor plants alive, either bring them in or cover them up, as temperatures will be cold enough to do damage. Of course, we are getting very late into the season now. It may just be time to let go. Now, looking ahead for tomorrow on Pinpoint Futurecast, it's going to be a little time before we see a little bit of cloud cover move in from the west. Very thin clouds possible at the start of the day, but it's more toward the latter portion of the morning into the afternoon where we start to see a little bit more cloud cover. Notice here at 5 o'clock. Very isolated showers trying to pop up here on the leading edge of this storm system moving in. Now, those could expand a little bit through the evening hours here across our eastern counties in particular, but the main development that we're watching is going to be here towards central Iowa during those evening hours. 7 o'clock, a pretty good cluster of storms could be going near and south of Highway 30. That looks like the area most favored to see the best storm activity here as we go through tomorrow evening. A few isolated storms possible to the north right along our northern zones too. Now, this round, and especially during its initial development in that 6 to, let's say, 10 o'clock time window, there could be a few storms that maybe produce a little bit of hail. A few of those hailstones get close to that 1-inch diameter area. We're going to keep a close eye on it over the next 12 to 24 hours for you, of course, bringing you the first alert as you need it. Now, later tomorrow night, those showers and storms really move on. We're going to see quieter conditions as we look ahead toward that time period of Friday morning and through the day Friday. A little blustery again from the northwest, but we're going to keep skies mostly sunny. Tomorrow, starting off sunny, cloudier later. Temperatures reach the upper 60s to around 70. 70 right on the nose in Waterloo, 71 in Washington. That southeasterly wind pretty breezy, between about 15 to 25 miles per hour. So after that shower chance on Thursday night and early Friday, we spent a couple of dry days this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, both looking very, very quiet and pretty comfortable for this time of year. Pretty close to normal for this time of year. A couple degrees above, perhaps, in most cases. Then we look toward Tuesday and Wednesday for the next chance for some more showers and storms. Here's Wednesday morning. By Wednesday evening, that activity pushes here into eastern Iowa. Maybe moves out for part of the day on Thursday, but some more showers are possible later Thursday into Friday. So yes, the overall generally more active weather pattern does stick with us. Now that doesn't mean that there's not going to be plenty of dry time to enjoy in between. It just is that we have more opportunities for rain and storms than we have had for some time, and we could be adding some very much needed rainfall on top of the little that we got yesterday morning.
Yeah, and it kind of surprised me. I woke up to some rumbles of thunder early yesterday morning, and it was nice to hear that back in the air. I know we didn't get a ton of rain from it, but it is still nice to see, like you mentioned, that active weather pattern starting to come back in. It's time for that change.
Yeah, for sure. And feeling a lot better about the rain and storm chance tomorrow night in terms of it being A, a little bit more widespread, but still favoring the south a little bit more. And B, actually producing some rain. The system just has better access to moisture at the mid and upper levels, and so that's going to fuel these storms, which could develop and hopefully, again, maybe quarter, half an inch, maybe more.
That would be really nice to see. And, you know, even if this one doesn't necessarily deliver in all the places that are hoping to get that rain, I did notice in that 9-day we were seeing a little bit of those temperatures, low temperatures in the 50s and 60s. That tells me there's going to be a lot of moisture coming up ahead of that next storm system, and that next system could give us some pretty good rainfall as well with more moisture to work with.
Seems like a possibility. We'll have to cross our fingers until then.
Absolutely. Still several days out, so a lot can change, but we'll keep you updated and absolutely keep you updated with your first alert forecast with that.
Indeed.
But looking a little further out to things than the 9-day, we had a look at our climate connection, and I had the chance to catch up with our state climatologist, Justin Glisson, a few days ago because we've gotten into fall. We've seen our first frost and freeze of the year. So he and I kind of broke that down, talked about where that frost and freeze came in terms of timing, if it was early, late, and talked about a couple of other things in relation to fall. So let's have a look. Well, for this week's Climate Close-Up, we're going to have a talk with our state climatologist, Justin Glisson. I've got him right over here in monitor left. Justin, how are you doing today?
Trying to stay out of the wind. It's nice and windy here over in central Iowa. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Also staying out of the wind as well. It's certainly starting to feel like fall. We've got the windy conditions. I mean, kids are able to go out and fly kites and have fun with it. We also did have our first frost and freeze, so we do have the changes of the season on the way, and that does bring us to our first question. So many places across Iowa have seen their first frost and freeze. So did this year's first frost and freeze arrive early, late, or was it right on time? And have we seen any trends in our frost being early, later on time over the last 10 to 20 years?
Yeah, both great questions. We look at eastern Iowa, Lynn County, Cedar Rapids. The climatologically, the first freeze date, which is that 28 degree Fahrenheit, the end of the growing season, is typically October 18th, and we look at the first frost event, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's October 7th. So looking at Cedar Rapids low temperature 2 days ago, 26 degrees, right on time. And if you look at the trends for frost and freeze, there's a lot of variability across the state. Again, it depends on where you are, topography, soil type, all these different types of variables. But we've seen a slight trend in eastern Iowa for these frost states to come slightly earlier. And by slightly, I mean 3.3 hours in a day. So slightly earlier, but overall, we've seen the trend kind of hold, and we've actually seen an increase in the frost-free season. So that means the growing season has expanded anywhere from 10 to 15 days.
That is interesting, and I know it's good for farmers too, who are probably eager to take advantage of those extra days to get crops out and get them growing earlier, and then have them grow a little bit later. So with that, does the timing of this year's frost, does it provide any indication as to whether or not our first snow will arrive early, late, or on time? And does it also have any insight into how severe we can expect this upcoming winter to be?
I wish it did. That would be a great set of guidance for us moving into late fall and early winter. Overall, we look at the large-scale planetary setup in the Northern Hemisphere to kind of give us an idea of when we'll see a shift towards more active weather. Again, the driest September on record. October is particularly dry through the first half of it, but it really doesn't tell us where we're moving. What does tell us that is the chance of the La Nina phase kicking in through late fall into early winter. And when we see that, the jet stream acts a particular way, and we generally see colder temperatures across the upper Midwest as we shift into early winter. Also, with a weak La Nina, we typically see more snowpack across the state, but depending on when that first frost or freeze takes hold, really doesn't give us any guidance. You go back to 1880, the first and the earliest blizzard that we've seen across the state of Iowa was October 15th and 16th. And then you get into winter, a less active winter. So it really doesn't give us a good idea of where we're moving on the large scale in terms of weather patterns.
Okay, well, still it'll be interesting to see as we get into winter if, how things end up playing out. But if nothing else, it's kind of nice to see that we're right on schedule with that first frost and freeze. And I know we're going to be going back to a warmer pattern. We're keeping the dry pattern around as well, but it will be interesting to see how that holds as we head into winter. But with that, yes, that is all we have, all the time we have for today. But Justin, thank you as always for taking the time to speak with us, and we'll look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thanks, AJ.
Interesting stuff as we look through the rest of the fall season. We'll have some of those temperatures getting down into that frost and freezy range as we go toward tonight, and that's when we'll have, well, some conditions that will be a little bit on the wet side potentially for the end of Thursday. That chance of showers and storms arrives. In terms of total rainfall with that system, we again are favoring our southern half of the area a little bit more than the north, where some areas, if you get repeated thunderstorms tomorrow evening and night, we could end up with half an inch, maybe up to an inch in a few spots, which is really, really encouraging. To the north of that, activity will be more scattered, but you're not out of the picture there either. We're not totally ruling it out in the northern half of the area. Just it looks like amounts will be a little lighter. Now, as we head into the weekend, temperatures will turn a little bit cooler. We're back into the 30s for lows again by Saturday and Sunday, and highs only in the upper 50s to low 60s, but winds turn a little bit lighter, especially on Saturday. So that day there looks like a pretty good one in terms of how it will feel. Same story on Sunday. It's early next week when we have a decent bout of some gustier winds looking likely on Monday and Tuesday. Watch these numbers. Monday in the 30s. Tuesday we could be talking gusts from the south still in the 30s or even close to 40 miles per hour. That's as a storm system builds off to our west. That gives us that chance for showers and storms from Wednesday and beyond. So we do have a somewhat more active weather pattern there. Well, let's loop through this one more time. There's our temperatures that get into the 70s and even low 80s on Tuesday on the strength of the southerly winds. That is, again, very rare for that time of year. Record high on Tuesday in Cedar Rapids is 84, so it's going to be near that number again. We've never had an 80 past October 31st. It doesn't look like we're going to do that this year, at least based on our initial estimates. But yeah, it's just a surge of warmth with that chance for showers and storms.
And never say never to that last range, or to that last chance for an 80-degree day. It seems like every time I see one in the 9-day, I'm like, this is the last one. And then another one pops up.
And we have seen exceptional warmth, and especially like way out of the ordinary warmth happen at times. December 15th, 2021, when we had all those storms in central and eastern Iowa. Yeah, those 70s that day were unprecedented by a wide margin. So sure, crazy stuff can happen. I guess never say never.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us tonight on First Alert Weather Now. We'll be back here tomorrow night, same time, same place. Have a great rest of your night.